Welcome once again to Commanded by Damon. Today we continue to build decks led by the legendary creatures from the Hobbit set. Leading today's deck is the main villain himself, Smaug, Wicked Worm. Yes, this is the third Smaug deck. Why do you ask? Smaug, Wicked Worm is a 5-mana 5/5 legendary dragon with flying. When he enters, we create X tapped treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts our opponents control. Additionally, whenever we cast a spell, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, we lose 1 life and draw a card. Okay, so we will be including a couple of ways for our opponents to get some artifacts, but we're mostly focused on using treasures to cast spells so that we can draw more cards. Pretty straightforward. Also, this won't exactly be a budget deck, but any expensive cards in the list are staples that can go in a lot of different decks, so keep that in mind throughout the video. But before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, BCW. BCW has been making high-quality, cost-effective products for both collectors and retailers for over 40 years. If you want to store, display, or sort your cards, check them out. I've been using their inner sleeves for years now and have never had an issue. Be sure to click the link down below and use code DANON10 for a 10% discount on your order. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Real quick, before we get to our deck list, I do occasionally stream on this channel, and if you see me live, come say hi. I'll be building commander decks, either for patrons or for future videos, so make sure you're subscribed and click the bell icon so you'll get notified when I'm live. Our land base consists of Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Dragon Skull Summit, Raucous Theater, Sulphurous Mire, Geothermal Bog, Smoldering Marsh, Canyon Slough, Tainted Peak, Blazemire Verge, Shadowblood Ridge, Graven Cairns, Sulphurous Springs, Blightstep Pathway, Foreboding Ruins, Temple of Malice, Drossforge Bridge, Rakdos Guildgate, Rakdos Carnarium, Bajuka Bog, Myriad Landscape, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, 6 Swamps, and 9 Mountains. Yes, I know there are some tap lands in the deck, but it's fine. For those who have never heard my argument on why tap lands are fine, especially in bracket 2 or 3, here you go. What is the difference between Rakdos Guildgate and an Evolving Wilds into a mountain? They both enter tapped, but next turn you can use them. However, the mountain will only tap for red, but the Guildgate will tap for red or black. For mana ramp, we've got Descent into Avernus, the Reaver Cleaver, Crime Novelist, Decadent Dragon, Dark Ritual, Black Market Connections, Chandra Torch of Defiance, Brass's Bounty, Mana Geyser, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Indulgence, Rakdos Signet, Mind Stone, and Thrawn Dynamo. Lots of ways to ensure we can stay ahead of the curve. Our card advantage package consists of Big Score, Unexpected Windfall, Deadly Dispute, Demand Answers, Thrill of Possibility, Night's Whisper, Inside Information, Phyrexian Arena, Sign in Blood, Idol of Oblivion, and Last Light of Durin's Day. Plenty of ways to keep our hands full. For interaction and spot removal, we've got Grim Hireling, Terminate, Bedevil, Chaos Warp, Abrade, Withering Torment, Rakdos Charm, Bolt Bend, Lightning Bolt, Feed the Swarm, and Shiny Impetus. Not too shabby. For board wipes, we're running Desolation of Smaug, Blasphemous Act, Toxic Deluge, Blood Money, Reckless Endeavor, and Crux of Fate. Yes, that is a lot of ways to remove annoying creatures. Why do you ask? The core of our deck consists of Mirkwood Bats, Reckless Fireweaver, Mayhem Devil, Hellkite Tyrant, Marionette Apprentice, Weftstalker Ardent, Nadir's Nightblade, Ingenious Artillerist, Disciple of the Vault, Pain Distributor, Kalain Reclusive Painter, Marionette Master, Agent of the Iron Throne, and Guild Artisan. Lots of ways to punish our opponents every time we use a treasure. Supporting our plan, we've also got Revel in Riches, Exsanguinate, Conjurer's Closet, and Helm of the Host. What could be better than Smaug? How about an army of Smaug? Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 53 mana sources split between 38 lands and 15 pieces of ramp. A little high, but so is our curve, so it's fine. 12 pieces of card advantage, counting our commander. 11 pieces of interaction. 6 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Rakdos Charm and Bojuka Bog. 1 sudden I win card in Exsanguinate. The point of our deck is to make a bunch of treasures. We use those treasures to cast our spells, and our creatures can then drain our opponents when we do so. We have a lot of effects that hurt our opponents when we have a token or artifact enter, and more that do so when they leave. But even if our opponents try to board wipe us a whole bunch, we can generate a ton of mana and just cast Exsanguinate to end the game. Or in a pinch, we use Last Light of Durin's Day to fetch out Hellkite Tyrant, steal everyone's artifacts, and win the game that way. Either way, what fun! I realize that Smaug Wicked Worm is nowhere near as powerful as Smaug the Impenetrable, but it's also a different build and a different way to play one of the most famous dragons in literature. Are you building a deck led by one of the Smaugs? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also want to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Alix, Robert, Pi, Kazaris, Patrick, Boomy, Osiris, Leech, Luke, Mr. Salty, Daniel Zombie, Brian, Waka, Talathia, Azander, Michael, and John. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.